Hi, this is Mike McWilliams with Upstairs to the Right Music. In part 2 of Mixing with Strings, we're going to talk about how you can use reverb and EQ in order to create a sense of depth and clarity to your string mixes, as well as my little neat two-tracking doubling trick that I use every time that I mix strings. Let's get into it. Okay. So if you recall in the last recording regarding strings, I talked about creating a sense of depth using EQ and reverb in your string mix. For ease of the eyes, I took all the other instrument tracks and the vocals and I two-tracked them down to a mix down. So let's take a listen to, and here are your stereo set strings. We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's listen to this so that first we can get a little context of what we got here.
She gave him everything she had to give, that and even more. So when she found him with another girl, her heart lost all its warmth. But one day she found a love so true. The love you give is the love that comes to you.
Okay, so what did we do here? Again, what you want to do is you want to take your string parts and two-track them. So in this case, it was a quartet piece that I composed using Spitfire Audio. I took those 4 tracks and I mixed them down to 2 tracks. And then I took that 2-track master and I made a copy of that. One of the copies is a stereo strings wet, and the other one is a stereo strings dry. And what happens when you do this, and you can see also here, I have them slightly panned left and right. Not drastically, just slightly. We talked about that before. If you don't remember why I do that, refer back to the other video. So let's listen to the wet strings by themselves. So let's solo those and give those a play. We'll listen to that same section. Okay, what I used as a reverb on this track, is a plugin that I'm actually really in love with. It's called the Abbey Road's Chambers. It's by Waves. It's a recreation of the rooms at Abbey Road Studios in the UK. Very famous from recording, most importantly, all the Beatles. But in any case, I love this reverb. I love this particular patch, Less Strings. Straight out of the box, you can throw this on your string tracks and get a really great reverb. You don't have to do too many adjustments. The way it is just great. So I've put this on the track for my reverb. Let's listen to that, and I'll come in and out with it. So we'll do it wet and dry first so you can hear how that sounds. So let's play that section again. So this is with it. Here it is without. Again with it in. And out. So what you see it did is the reverb created a sense of depth to your track. It took one of these stereo sets of strings, and it's given me, it's taken it out of your face and it's put it more in the background. And when you take that and you combine it with the dry strings, which we'll do in a minute, you'll see how the dry strings they stay up front with you. You saw that when we A-B'ing it. The combination of those two really give a sense of depth to your string mixes that I think is quite necessary. in the EQ department, this is pretty standard. This is my strings EQ patch that I created. I always use this. What I've done is I've taken about 1 dB of gain minus out of the 2K range. And that's just to clear up a little bit of the moneyness that you get in 2K with strings. I've also done a plus gain of about 7 dB, a shelf here. This adds a clarity to your strings. So between the two of these small, well, maybe some would argue that's not so small, but I think that you can play within a shelf of in the 10 kHz range of anywhere between 2 to 7 dB of gain to get the same effect. Play with it. It's the salt according to your taste. Some people like a lot of salt. Some people don't like a little. You know, it really depends on you. And with that, I've also done the same thing, same EQ setup on the dry strings as well. So pretty much well the same. As you saw, the dry strings have a more in-your-face sound. So when you take these two string parts and you combine them together, the slightly reverbed part and the dry part, it really does give a depth to your strings. Let's listen to that. So again, this is two little neat tricks that you can do to add a sense of depth to your string tracks. I do this every time. I think that I can't overemphasize the importance of two-tracking your strings as well in order to create a thickness to it. I feel that you always want to double up. If you took that 4-part quartet part and you doubled that, then you'd have 8 tracks running. It would really start taxing your CPU. For a lot of reasons, it's a lot easier just to mix them down to 2 tracks and do this split. Again, let's take a listen to that with the other orchestration in it and with the dry strings and the wet strings together.
She gave him everything she had to give, that and even more. So when she found him with another girl, her heart lost all its warmth. But one day she found a love so true. The love you give is the love that comes to you.
Okay, so there you have it, a couple of neat tricks in order to create a sense of depth and clarity to your string mixes. I do this every time. I hope that you find it useful and can use it in your mixes. If you like this video, please take the time to hit the like button, as well as if you haven't done so yet, subscribe. It means a lot to building up this channel. I wish you all a very happy day. Take care. Bye-bye.
Like the show? Well, show your support by subscribing and hitting the like button. See you later.